play. Absolutely, a fair play. As long as the chickens had a decent life, that's the only problem.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they just taste better if they had a good life, right?
100%,
so
man.
I'm all for them having the best life they can possibly have.
I want the yellowish
the end,
chicken they got.
Good. Yes, those yellow, the organic ones. Beautiful.
The yellow they are, the better. 100%, yeah. No, I love America more than the average guy, I would imagine. I stick up for it quite a lot. I have to during these times.
Nowadays,
but,
you have to stick up for it.
all the time, man. It's crazy. It never used to be that bad, but it's hilarious because people forget I'm half American, and they'll always say things like, I hate Americans. Like, they'll see someone in a pub that's like super loud American. And I don't really consider myself American. I've lived in the UK like my entire life and stuff, but you know. And then they sort of realise I'm there, and their face just lights up. It's like, well, not all Americans, you know. It's just like,
well, not you. I mean, yeah. I mean, some of my best friends are American.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I don't hate. I've got nothing against Americans. No problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know Americans. I've been to America, so you know, I'm not.
True, but I tell you what, as the years go on, man, the apologies get less and less. They people really don't like America over here. It's yeah, and it's crazy, and it's like I have to say America's one of the greatest countries on the flipping planet. Like, if you just think about it, as it was created like just over 200 years ago, okay, and how it was founded. Like, if you're going to found a country, that's how you do it. Like, the way they oh man, I don't know. Like, sure, there's been mistakes made and stuff, but man. There's role models. Man. Anyway, never mind. I'm not going to get bogged down in this, but America is a fantastic country.
I know what you're saying. It's very like, it's just tarring everyone with the same brush, isn't it? It's like, it's the classic thing that you're taught in primary school. It's like, even when you say, oh, like, girls smell or whatever, like, no, it's like girls are nice, you know, you're going to like girls, you're going to grow up and you're going to love girls. It's like, but when we're adults, like, we forget, it's like, yeah, there are some people that do stupid stuff, but like, that doesn't mean that everyone from that country or everyone who looks that way or everyone who is a man or a woman, like, is bad. It's like, that's 101. Don't be a dick to someone because because of where they're from, or like, you can't say all Americans are stupid, because they're not. No. They're not. That's absolute rubbish.
No, some of the smartest people on the planet have come from America. You know, it's like
yeah.
It's So yeah, no, it's a shame. So anyway, but it's been good because I've always felt like I've been a little bit timid in sort of hitting back when people say things that I don't agree with in a group setting, especially. I will tend to just keep my mouth shut basically and just let them say what they want and like, oh, all right, okay. But now with this kind of stuff, I'm constantly having to like pipe up, and it's
losing your inhibitions
a little bit. I'm going a little bit,
yeah,
and that's spread to other things, like other political things, or you know, there's always stuff that people say that they're just sort of like regurgitating something they heard off a Facebook article or some prominent figure that I have a counter argument to, or I completely disagree with, or I can kind of prove them wrong, and I will bring them up on it. I never used to do that, so I guess me defending America has brought me out of my shell in that way a little bit, which is good. But I can't remember where I got into this. Oh yeah, so as much as I love America, their animal rights stuff is a lot to be desired. That's what I was going to say, like with the chickens and stuff. Like, they do have a lot of ways to go there. Unfortunately, but they're getting better, so we all are. So
yeah, exactly. As long as it's going in the right direction, that's what I think. If it was going the opposite way, then there'd be a problem. But it's like, yeah, it does seem to be going in the right direction. Yeah, and just as a little anecdote from that, the animal rights thing. Like, I was driving from the standard drive that everyone does from bloody Las Vegas to LA.
Sure.
Or it might have been even further from LA to San Francisco, but you know, along that side of the country.
Sure.
And it's just, there's just nothing, like a trillion miles or whatever. And you're just driving on a straight road. We're in like an Escalade, just sitting there with the AC on, just like loving America. And then all of a sudden there's like, oh, what is that smell? That's weird. Like, and we were looking around, it was full of car was full of blokes. We were like, who's farted? Who's farted? Like, this is disgusting. And everyone was like, no, it's not me. It's not me. I swear it's not me. we're driving for another 10 minutes, and it's like, God, it's getting worse. What is this stench? This is foul. It's like we were thinking, God, there must be something wrong with the car or something. It was so bad.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, we come over this slight little ridge, and then as far as the eye could see, it's just cattle.
Wow.
As far as the eye could see. It's like, God, no, I don't even want to guess how many hectares that it was, but it was like, hundreds of miles of desert full cattle.
Wow.
And we were like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And we must have been driving for like half an hour at about 70, 80 miles an hour, like just straight road, cruise control. And it was like, and there was cows the whole way.
Wow.
And we were just like, that's a lot of cows. We were just thinking that's like, I mean, they were outside, they were walking around and stuff. They weren't in like cages or whatever, but it was like, yeah, it stinks.
Yeah,
we could smell it, and
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, the amount that people eat, the amount of people there are, and the amount of people there eat, same as in any country, we eat a lot of meat. We eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
They're having a big problem with avocados as well in California, aren't they? Because so many, I have about 4 avocados a week. My missus has about 4 avocados. Like that's just 2 people in London. Like, think about the amount of people in the world, and the amount of water it takes to make those bloody things.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as like meat. Like, we all have burgers every now and again and steaks every now and again. It's like you need a lot of cows.
Sure.
But it was just so shocking just to see them all in one place.
We
were just like, whoa. We were just quiet for half an hour. We were just thinking about the amount of cows. Like, if the cows wanted to, they could have taken over the world, man. Because there were so many. There were so many. If they wanted to, they could have killed us.
One day, they're going to rise up. We need to keep an eye out. Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't think I've seen anything. I mean, in England, I think our biggest thing is like, I think when you're driving down the A303 to Dorset or something, you'll hit a massive pig farm or something.
That's tiny, mate. There's only about 10 stones.
A few sheep here and there. A couple of pig farms here and there, but nothing to that scale. I mean, there's nowhere near as many people though, so that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one. It's, again, so this is a good topic actually. Like, a lot of people our age have been sort of turning to vegetarianism or veganism to fight what they would say is a sort of environmental fight, not necessarily ethical. They don't necessarily care about, or they do care, but they don't have a problem with killing animals for food. But they have more of a problem with the impact on the environment that the animals are causing, and so they stop eating meat. So, and I've had a few conversations with that. Again, I'm kind of careful with who I talk to, because you can tell there's some people that, have put some research into it and really thought about it, and there's some people that haven't. And the people that haven't, I kind of I don't want to be like that guy that's like, that's a terrible idea, that's not a good idea, that's not going to help. But I feel like it's not the right way. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think what you should do is take the money that you've been spending on meat, say for your entire life, on cheap meat and meat that's been processed quickly and battery farmed and all this kind of stuff, unethical practices, and take the exact same amount of money and spend it on ethical meats like organic, free range, all this kind of stuff, that animals that have had a good life, they've been looked after well, and they've been killed humanely, and then, which will be more expensive obviously, so that will inherently diminish the amount of meat you eat, and that is going to put the money into the pockets of the companies that are creating this more sustainable future for animals and farming and stuff. And that's going to make a quicker change, because you're not just taking money completely out of the market, you're actually putting money where you want it to go. And I think, I would really, that's what I'd love to see, is less people going vegetarian and vegan, and more people just really loving the food that they cook and eat, and spending a decent amount of money on it.
On good quality stuff, mate. I couldn't agree more. There's sort of two points. I completely agree with you. But point A is, like, if we're thinking about caring for our environment and our economy and our local surroundings, like, that proves the point. Like, go out and go to your local butchers. Like, don't go to Tesco or Sainsbury's or whatever. Go to your butchers and buy, and check where they get their meat, and then buy a couple of nice steaks. Because you're not going to be able to afford quite as much if you're, like you say, converting the exact same amount of money, but you're putting that money back into your local surroundings, your local shops, the little shops that you want to keep there, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're just stopping eating meat and you're just eating loads of vegetables from Tesco, Like, fair enough, but all that money's going to Tesco. It's not going to that little shop on the high street that's helping the local farmers and the local, the wives of the farmers and the kids of the farmers and blah, 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 blah. It's just going to Tesco, isn't it?
True. That's very true. I didn't even think about that level of it, yeah.
So point one is, to encourage a sustainable, good quality economy and surroundings. And then point two is that my gut reaction is the world only ever changes when money is involved, right? Marketing is very good and it makes you think that people care, but big companies and stuff, in my opinion, don't care about that. They literally just care about where the money's going. So if the money's, if all the money suddenly changes and goes in a different direction, they're just going to follow that, If all of a sudden the trend is to grow avocados, they're just going to follow that. Like it was with kale, like 15 years ago or whatever. Like somebody had the job of making sure kale was popular, and then loads of money went into it. But so like if you show these companies that you're only going to buy good quality meat, but you're still buying meat, they're going to put money into that.
Exactly.
They're not going to battery farm hens and cows or whatever if no one's buying crap meat anymore. If they're buying prime steak once a week, they're going to put money into that.
100%.
Right? And that's the job. You can't say to them, listen, have a conscience, change the way that you work, because they don't care.
Yeah.
It's a company. There's a million layers that you can't get past. Yeah. And the people on the other side who make the decisions, they just see numbers in a thing.
Yeah, 100%.
So you've just got to change those numbers.
I completely
agree. As soon
agree.
as the numbers change, they'll change.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do it, in my opinion.
That's totally it, man. 100% with you. Like I say, you have to show these massive companies, because you're not going to get a global change unless you get them on your side. And the only way to get them on your side is to show them that they'll get your money. And you've got to put your money into the market share that's got the ethical in any market. We're talking about meat at the moment, but you could be talking about literally anything. Like not buying from Nike because they use sweatshops in China or India or wherever. But buying from, like, I don't know, God, I can't think of another example, like a more sort of higher end clothing company that will not be doing the same thing. If you can find one. I mean, you might struggle with clothes maybe, but and what you're doing is you're showing that as soon as their market share starts getting smaller and smaller, they're going to realize, oh, alarm bells are going to start ringing, and they're going to start innovating in a way that we want. And as a consumer, we have all the power. We have all the power in a capitalist society. We have all the power, and people forget that sometimes. And a lot of people don't like capitalism very much, and that's the problem. People are pushing back against this system that we're working in. But if you work with the system that we're in, it does work for you. But you've got to be in it. You can't try and bring it down and say, oh, these companies are very immoral, they shouldn't be doing that. Companies are they just move with the money, and it's not fair, but it's also, it's not like morally good. It's the fairest we got. Sorry, I didn't mean that. What I meant is it's not morally good. It's not morally bad. It's a very neutral party that just moves with us, with our spending habits, and that's how it works. So that's how it's got to work. We've got to work with the system, man. Yeah,
gavel down.
Love it. Oh, good. We're getting into it now. This is good. We shouldn't eat before all of these episodes.
Oh, God. People are going to be listening like, Jesus, someone take them some food. Yeah. Jeez, they're going in deep. They're going in deep today. Okay, mate. So, while we're speaking about food, right, okay. I just made a little note. I was like, because now in Britain, where we are, the restaurants are allowed to open now. Am I right in thinking that? I've not been out really yet, but they're allowed to open,
I think
right?
so, yep.
With all the relevant social distancing and all that stuff. And I just wanted to say, like, what are you looking forward to most? What are you going to do? What are you going to do this week? Any restaurants, any pubs? Like, what are you thinking about?
My goodness, that's a good question. So, this week, I don't think much is going to happen, to be honest. So, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here, but I am pretty... I trust the sort of government opening things up. There's obviously a reason they want to open stuff up. They want us to spend our money. They want us to support these restaurants and these poor businesses that are struggling because they haven't been able to work for the last 3 months. However, there are a lot of people that are very scared, people that I live with, people that I interact with on a regular basis, and they would certainly rather me not do those things, I think. So it's a tricky one. But as soon as I get out,